Hi, you probably landed in this video because you're thinking about your current personal finance journey. And you may be thinking if it's the right time to actually get a finance coach or somebody who can help you with your personal finance stress and maybe problems, especially if you don't know where you're going to or what you're gonna do next. In this video, I'm gonna talk to you about what are some of the cases where you will need a personal finance coach so that you can think through and make one of the most important, best life-changing decisions you will ever make in your life. If you haven't watched my other videos yet, I'm PPE and I am the person behind the Peso Pro episodes where we talk about money management tips and peso tricks. If you've seen the other videos in the channel, you've seen me talk about a variety of different topics on personal finance, and this was really brought out of my passion for the field. I personally am a certified public accountant and now a candidate for the Registered Financial Planner or the RFP in the Philippines. A group of people who actually study and follow personal finance trends so that we are able to give sound financial advice to clients. You may have been referred to this video by a friend or a colleague, and you may actually even have just chanced upon this video when you were reading through my blog. For whatever it's worth, you've come to this video because you're probably thinking about why do you need a personal finance coach, or how different is this versus the financial advisors that are typically going to go to you for different kinds of insurance investments or insurance policies. Let's jump right in. In personal finance, you will be subjected to a lot of different options, different concepts, and some of that can be all too confusing. And while the fundamental things or like the basics are very, very simple to understand, like dapat magtipid, dapat mag-ipon, you should live within your means, so wag gumastos ng mas malaki than yung kinikita mo, or even sometimes thinking about the very, very frequent reminders that you will get, like don't fall for the sale because that's gonna end up costing you money, or you should invest money. All of these things you probably heard before or are even probably hearing now from different financial advisors. However, whether they're very simple or not, the common denominator across a lot of us is that they are actually very, very difficult to put into action. So, the number one thing that I can think about when you are assessing if you need a finance coach is really thinking about, are you being confused or are you too lost in your personal finance journey? And typically, you will be able to assess this when, for example, you don't even have a clear understanding as to how you're managing your current money, how much money comes in and out, and you just feel that you're living paycheck to paycheck. If you have that feeling, the chances are is that you are probably in a semi-spiral in your personal finance life, and you may need a coach to actually put some direction in your life. The second reason may be a bit more common. Some people actually know how their money management works, meaning they know how much they earn, they know how much they spend, they do some savings here and there, but they really haven't taken the next step to really try to go towards financial independence. And I'm here to tell you that just saving alone won't get you there. So in a lot of cases, and I've heard this from a lot of my friends, your personal finance sometimes starts with very, very good habits, tracking, saving, but then it ends there. So if you are too busy or if you have so many, many other things to think about and you don't have the patience or time to actually try to learn and read about it from books or different materials or even watch videos on YouTube, then a finance coach may be for you. Our job as coaches will actually help tie the pieces together based on what you currently have and what you currently know, along with all of the expertise that we built over the years that we are practicing and we're learning. We are also trying to keep abreast of the latest developments so that you know the latest and can make sound decisions on new investment products or things that are just coming into play in the Philippines. The third reason that I can think about on why you would need a finance coach would be if you are too emotional or too bothered by your finances. One of the most common things that probably are very, very understated is that when you talk about money, you start to become very, very emotional. And my personal belief is that once you talk or think about your money, it has to be a very, very light and very, very inspiring feeling in the end. And not all of us may be in that state right now. You may be in debt. You may have low source of income and your expenses are piling up. You may have other responsibilities that you have to worry about. And so money becomes very, very quickly an emotional exercise. And when our emotions are ruling us, then our decisions may or may not be the best in that specific scenario. So having a personal finance coach who is detached from the emotion of money and has all of the expertise can actually help guide you through a rough patch, or if you are in a good patch, really set you up for further success. The fourth one, and probably one of the more important things that you should consider in getting a finance coach, is having an accountability partner in the long term. Again, personal finance is not about the theory. In most cases, you don't even have to understand how options trading or day trading works to be actually successful in the long term. All you need to do is to create a sense of purpose with a plan so that the profits will come in. If you are the person who is more or less rah-rah-rah at the start of the year but need someone to remind you or someone to hold you accountable to the promises that you made yourself every New Year's or every time you make a resolution for yourself, then a personal finance coach is actually a better partner for you. If you have a coach, then this person will be able to help guide you through the rough patches that you will go through in your journey, but also act as an accountability partner for you to check up with every once in a while. The last and probably the most important thing that I would suggest you to consider in hiring a finance coach is to find someone who has an unbiased opinion. In the US, they call this fiduciary financial advice. Fiduciary meaning it is embedded in the trust that you have with the coach that that person will look out for your best interest. In the Philippines, there are a lot of financial advisors who will give you financial advice and even come up to you unsolicited. In most cases, these financial advisors would be connected to an insurance company or a bank. And whether some people do hard selling or some people actually take the longer route of getting to know the client, a lot of these cases, these advisors will give you a product or something that you should buy, like a policy or an investment product at the end of the session. I'm not saying financial advisors are bad. In a lot of cases, the products that they actually sell are very, very good products. I even have a couple myself. However, in choosing the person to be your finance coach or accountability partner or financial advisor, whatever you want to call it, please make sure that you know that this person has your best interest at heart. In a lot of cases, I have heard bad news that when they actually got a finance advisor, the relationship ended when the product or the policy was signed. Remember, insurance agents or financial advisors from insurance companies or banks earn their living mostly from earning commissions from the policies that they sell. The higher the policy, the higher commission that they get. There is an inherent bias from the advisor to actually try to sell you a more expensive policy. And that doesn't mean to say that that's always the bad advice, but just be very aware that when that person tells you to buy something, make sure to probe and have your due diligence ready so that you actually understand what you're trying to buy. A finance coach, for me, should be someone who is invested in your personal finance journey and whose main resolution of getting into this conversation is that you should be able to find your own financial independence plan and story. My personal goal is that you have a plan for yourself that you can follow and execute. That could mean very different things to different people. That could even mean just having enough to live comfortably in the province or have your own little farm and retire soundly and very calmly in your later years. Or it can also be personal goals like traveling the world or buying a certain property. Whatever those are, those may change from person to person. And what I can tell you is that I am personally invested to understand what you really want in life and try to help you make a program that you can execute and follow towards the goals that you set for yourself. If that means that you have to unclutter some of the difficulties in your life or even understand some investment options that you may not understand, we'll go through that together. I will share with you whatever I have learned in my experiences from trainings and seminars, and also help share with you some of the things I learned from other clients so that you can actually try to learn from the collective experience that I have from my other clients as well. This journey is probably one of the most daunting things that you will take, especially that this is not very common in the Philippines. Like, I don't think a lot of people actually go through a money makeover session with someone that has some investment knowledge. Typically, you have this conversation with friends or your parents, and not all of them may be equipped to get you to where you want to be. So that's it. I hope this video was able to give you a glimpse as to what personal finance coaching really means. And my personal objective is for you to understand these certain things so that you can make a good enough decision so that you are able to trust me as your personal finance coach, and for you to assess if this is really the right next step for you. If you have more questions, you can refer to the description box below, and you can reach out to me via email or Viber or whatever messenger or social messaging app that you will use. And while you're here in this video, I truly hope that you can subscribe to the channel and watch the other videos, and you may get a tip or two from the other videos that are uploaded already, and I hopefully will give you a feel as to who am I as a personal finance advocate and coach. If you feel that this video was helpful, give it a thumbs up and hit the notification bell, and I hope to hear from you soon.